This is Jason with Chicago News. We've got the brand new redesigned 2017 Toyota Highlander to check out. Mechanically, this Highlander is the same, but they've changed the front and rear bumper design. And in what seems to be like a race to find the biggest grille, they've almost an entire front end of grille here. It's easy to tell why the Highlander is so popular when you cram this many features into an SUV with 3 rows and all of the safety features you get here. People are going to want to buy this, but with such limited legroom in the back seat and the captain's chairs, which takes out effectively a passenger from the rear seat, you wonder if this is really as good as it can be for what it's intended. Now that we're behind the wheel of this new Highlander, we can try out the other new thing, which is the uprated engine. This V6 now has 295 horsepower. They've changed a lot of things to improve the efficiency, and at the same time have gotten more power. The first thing I'm noticing though is that right at throttle tip in, it feels dead. The first 30% of the throttle does really nothing. It really have to get to half throttle before you really feel anything. It just doesn't have an engaging feeling. It might have great horsepower, but just doesn't feel connected. Once you finally do tip in and get some power, it actually sounds pretty good, accelerates pretty well. Pretty heavy vehicle at around 4,500 pounds, the all-wheel drive and V6, all the options that are crammed in here. So there's a limit to how quick it's going to feel, but still an admirable engine, especially when you consider this gets within a couple miles per gallon of some of the 4-cylinder turbo counterparts. One of the main reasons people buy vehicles like this is for that third row of seats. Unfortunately, the legroom in this one is pretty limited. Some of the competitors, the new Volkswagen Atlas, for example, has 6 inches more of third row legroom, so it's not as usable as you might hope. Definitely is convenient to have it there, but you'd want more usability. This also has rear captain's chairs in the middle row, which is nice for each passenger sitting there. You've got reclining seats and all of that, but it really just takes away a possible passenger in the center of that middle row. Now, it's an option. You can get the bench seat. I would highly recommend buying one with a bench seat. Toyota's definitely gotten some criticism in the past for the interior quality or the quality of the materials, and they've responded by upgrading the leather. They've borrowed this leather from the Lexus line. It's very soft. These seats are quite comfortable. You've got heated and cooled seats here. But some of the trim on the doors, it just is a little thin and plasticky. Again, this is a great price point, $43,000 fully loaded, but you're gonna find different areas where you feel that savings coming from. One thing there's definitely no shortage of in here are storage compartments. You've got great storage all the way along the dash. Everywhere you turn, there's gonna be a pocket, a door to open, someplace to store your stuff. So as far as convenience, being able to put your things, just can't beat this. Another change for 2017 is that all Highlanders, not just the fully loaded ones, get the full suite of safety features. You get forward collision alert, emergency braking, radar cruise control, even lane assist, all come standard in every Highlander. Actually is a great commitment to safety and a great feature of all of these vehicles. I don't think very many people are buying a Highlander for its off-road capabilities, but you do have hill descent control. You've got some 4-wheel drive controls. There's a snow mode here in the center. So again, it's still a 4-wheel drive vehicle. It's still going to be fairly competent off-road, but overwhelming majority, well over 99.9% of these are never going to see dirt. There's a couple small convenience touches in this vehicle that really are kind of a no-brainer. You wonder why people don't do this more often. There's this storage container in the center console here. There's actually a little wire minder that you can pop and actually run your chargers through, plug them in down here, and keep your phone up in here. So actually building some wire management into the car, which, given how tied we are to our devices these days, everyone's always charging. It's really great to see something built in to actually manage that. Another great touch is that the rear glass lifts up in case you just want to throw some groceries or something in really quick. Instead of having to open the hatch, which unfortunately opens a bit slow for our taste. It takes quite a while for the hatch to go all the way up, but we most of the time just use the glass. You just pull it, open it up, throw your stuff in, and shut it. Really convenient. Some of the controls here are a little out of reach. This touchscreen is a stretch even for me at 6'3". You know, obviously somebody shorter would have the seat further forward, but I think that ratio is always going to be about the same. and it's a little out of touch, and the same goes for some of the AC controls. One thing that's conspicuously missing from the infotainment system is Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. There's none of that here. There's definitely some apps and some connections that you can do with the Toyota's own system. There's streaming music apps and other things that are available through the system, but as far as plugging into your own device, it's kind of missing. And when there's so much other thought put into some of the technology here, we wonder why that is not available. As far as handling goes, the steering, it's not very precise. There's a disconnect between it and the wheels, and overall there's great stability. It tracks straight, everything's great there, but it just isn't very exciting to drive, and it's really at the point where I can't say that they didn't plan it that way. You know, most drivers of a Highlander aren't really interested in performance driving or how it's going to handle, but you know, some of the competitors take more of a serious look at the driving dynamics, and it feels a little numb and antiseptic for us here. Again, that might be what you're looking for, so it's just a personal preference thing. Just know that this doesn't really have a very engaging personality.